Untitled week. This week's musical video is about London tips. I have been to London many times, and in the past a lot of people have messaged me and asked me any tips about London, for example how to get there, where to stay, what shows to see, and etc. So here is a video of my London tips. Tip 1. I go to London a lot for the day, and a lot of people have asked me, where do I park? So I park in Hounslow West, which is a tube station, and right by the tube station there is a massive car park. And obviously in the week you have to pay, it's about £5 for 24 hours, so I normally do that just to cover the car, just in case I'm a bit later if a tube is delayed or anything like that. So it's just best to do 24 hours, which is £5, which I think is a brilliant price for that amount of time. And at the weekend it is free to park there, which I think is absolutely brilliant. You know, free parking space to go to London, you know, so that's why I go there when I go for the day. Brilliant prices there, and it's free in the weekend like I said. And they do have a market on Saturday and Sundays, so just get there early because they have the car park with the market, and then you have a few more car spaces, so just get there early and you'll get a space. And yeah, so go to Hounslow West, and I will put the link of the tube station down below. Tip 2. If you're staying in London for a few days, I would personally take the Megabus or National Express to get to London. They're brilliant services, I've done it a few times, and the bus takes you right to Victoria Station. And I have stayed in a few hotels which are right by Victoria Station too, which is a lot easier, especially if you're going to go home in a coach as well. But yeah, Megabus and the National Express are absolutely brilliant services. I've never had a complaint about them. They've been really good. So yeah, if you're staying in London for a few days, then transportation, I'd get the National Express or Megabus. Tip 3. So I've stayed in a few hotels in London, but I recommend the Victoria Comfort Inn, because if I'm getting the coach, which if I'm going for a few days I do, then I will be using the Megabus or the National Express, which will drop you off at Victoria Station, and there's a 5-minute walk to the hotel. You can check in, freshen up, and then a few yards walk, and then you're at the tube station, Victoria Tube Station, and you can go right into London. And I think it's a brilliant hotel. There's 2 of them, and yeah, I'll put the link down below of the hotel. If you want to look at other hotels, because sometimes other hotels are more cheaper than others, then just do your shopping around. But I do recommend going to a hotel which is by a tube, because you know you walk a lot in London and it's just easier if you just get off the tube and there's a hotel right there. Tip 4. So tip 4 is about the tubes. So when I first went to London, I didn't have a clue how to use the tubes at all. Didn't have one clue of how to use them. So luckily I was with someone who knew, and I just learnt from them, and the more amount of times I went to London, then I learnt. And also there is a tube app on your phone which I recommended to people in the past. So it looks like this, and what you do is you put in where you are and where you would like to go. So for example, I've put in Hounslow West, which I recommended in tip 1. So I'm at Hounslow West, I like to go to Piccadilly Circus. So you type in Piccadilly Circus, and then it tells me how many minutes the route will be, how much it will be, and also what tubes to take to get there. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant app, and I've used it a lot. Obviously when you get to know the tubes a bit more you don't. But if you're going to a show and you don't know whereabouts it is, then it's just easier to use the app. And also if you want to go and see Buckingham Palace or anything like that, then just put it on the app and it will come up straight away and it will tell you your route. Tip 5. So tip 5 is when you're on the tubes, they tell you to get an Oyster card, which I have done in the past, but recently they let you use your contactless phone. So that's what I do. It's just easier than queuing up to get an Oyster card, and with the Oyster card you don't know how much is on it once you've been doing trips and stuff, and all of a sudden you get to a tube station, you do that and it says nope, you're not allowed in, not enough credit on it. So what I do is I use my phone contactless and just go beep, and it comes through straight through your phone how much you've paid, and I think it's much more easier than using the Oyster tickets, which I did once do. Tip 6. So I've been to London quite a few times and I know where things are now, and I don't really use the tube that often. If I'm going from Hounslow West and then I'm going to wherever I like to go, then I do that because it's quite a bit of a way, 45 minutes into London from Hounslow West. So obviously I use a tube for them and on the way back. But a lot of the time I don't use it for the rest of the day because I know where I'm walking, and it's quite nice to walk sometimes if it's good weather. Obviously if it rains then I will take the tube because it's just easier. But obviously when I first went to London I was using the tube because I didn't have a clue where I was, because a tube normally takes you straight to the place where you'd like to go. But with experience I would recommend to walk so you see a lot more of London. My last tip, tip 7. So if you're going to London and you're going to see either the Shard, or if you want to go and see the Dungeons, the London Eye, all the big places, then I would book in advance. I have never ever not booked in advance, only because it gets really busy and there's a lot of people there already that's booked in advance and there are no spaces to get in if you just go on the hop. I would book in advance. It gets really busy in London, as you can imagine, so yeah, always book everything in advance. And that is the end of the video. Hope you guys liked it. If you would like any tips, anything, please message me or put comments down below. I will happily give you advice and tips. I have done in the past, so to other people, so please let me know. Like, subscribe and share, and I will see you next week for another musical video. Bye guys! Hey everyone, hope you've had a good week. This week's musical video is about West End Does. West End Does puts on musical concerts. So the people who are in these concerts are West End stars, and they're absolutely brilliant singing, as you can imagine.